9 a.m. to, I don't know, 12 p.m. or 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. bus lanes. Some of them were you couldn't go into the bus lane at all until 6:30 or so. So I think now it's from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And I just really don't know if this is going to be a success. And there's nearly an aspect of it that there's been so much money put into this already that we're going ahead with it just because we don't want to waste more money. One thing that was weird and was pointed out by the NI Greenways on Twitter was that the congestion that had popped up on the Titanic quarter, it was resolved or eased by opening a road that I don't think's usually open to the public. And it just seems ironic that the Belfast Harbour management were able to do that and ease some of the congestion when this whole congestion was caused by an initiative to reduce congestion, if you know what I mean. So we've basically, it seems like there's been more congestion created by something that was supposed to ease traffic in Belfast. And Belfast isn't a big place at all, yet we have some of the worst congestion in the UK. I think out of the top 20 roads, I believe, the busiest roads in the UK, I think Belfast has, I think it's nearly 2 or 3 of them at least, which is crazy. Because it shouldn't be that way. It just shows how bad our infrastructure is at the moment, and I just don't think this glider is going to help. We had bendy buses before in Belfast, and they didn't really work out. It just seems like we're rebanding that and bringing it in. One positive thing from it all, to be honest, I would say is it does look good with the new bus stops. They do look pretty advanced and something you'd see in maybe London or another major UK city. So things like that and the introduction of new technology I think there's new cards now that you can use and top up at the bus stop so that you don't need to carry money around and things like that anymore. So things like that are obviously welcome, and it's about time we embrace more technology. But I'm just very skeptical. Obviously, I'll give it a few months until I give him a proper verdict. But one thing I've noticed is the Albert Bridge Road, just at Central Station there. It's bad enough usually now, but outbound there's only one lane, and that's going to be an absolute nightmare for so many people. I'm just thankful that I can walk to work and don't need to rely on my car. But yeah, some people are going to have, I think, an awful time just trying to commute to work and back again. The final thing we'll chat about this week is the continued lack of the Stormont executive, which, surprise, surprise, still isn't in place since the last episode we chatted about this. So as of this episode, or as of recording this today, it's been 580 days since Northern Ireland had the executive. I wrote down in my notes here that it'd be 580 days since we had a functioning government, but you could arguably say it's been much longer than that, even when we had Stormont in place. But I was just looking at some interesting things, some interesting historical events that lasted less than 580 days. If you combine the Blitz, the Falklands War, and the Gulf War, that was still less than 580 days altogether, which is crazy. Or it's the equivalent of about 500 Britney Spears marriages, you could say. But I seen something really interesting over the week there. A guy from Belfast, a game developer, had created a game called Stormont Deadlock, which is Street Fighter-esque. You can play as any leader of the main political parties in Northern Ireland, but funnily, you can't actually land an attack on any of the other leaders because they automatically deflect attacks, which is was an intentional inclusion by the creator. He was saying that just like real life, the leaders can never get one over the other, and their attacks are basically pointless and always missing the mark. So I thought that was pretty funny. I don't know whether it's going to be released on, for people to play or have a play around with, or it was just basically created to make the political point. But yeah, I found that a bit funny and a bit. At least there's some creativity coming out of the lack of the executive. Another thing that's kind of rose over the past few weeks was the "We Deserve Better" movement, which just seems to came out of nowhere. To be honest, I had seen some posts about it a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't really take it that serious. I didn't really know who was behind it or what the true message was of it. But looking now over the past few days, and it just seems the engagement that that campaign is getting is it's huge. And something that we probably need here, a coordinated effort. So the whole purpose of the movement is to show that we do deserve better. On the 28th of August, I think, is when we will break the record for not having a government. I know the Guinness Book of Records had denied Northern Ireland having the record because in theory we still have Westminster. It's not like we're completely governmentless, if that's a word, country. But yeah, so on the 28th of August there's events across Northern Ireland just basically to put some pressure on mainly the DUP and Sinn Féin to show normal people's lives are being affected by this now. It's not just a case of being stubborn and just not wanting to work together. It's getting to the stage now where people just want the government to continue, and there's so much money is being wasted. I think it's around £9 million in taxpayers' money for the wages of MLAs. And I know I had discussed a few weeks ago the topic of MLA pay, and I wasn't sure whether we should cut the pay of MLAs, because I still don't know where I stand on that. I don't know whether we should cut the pay of the DUP and Sinn Féin just to force those guys into actually doing something and talking to each other. But it is a difficult one because there is a lot of MLAs who, it's not their fault that Stormont isn't working, and they're doing a lot of work still in their community. So I don't know whether they deserve to be punished for other parties being stubborn or not wanting to work together. So it's been a topic of debate, and I've seen a lot of different comments online about it. I still really don't know where I stand on that one. But it'll be interesting to see how big this We Deserve Better movement is on the 20th of August. There's a few big events. I'm going to get along to the one in Belfast and hopefully interview a few people for the podcast. So I'll keep you updated regarding that one. But yeah, that's everything this week. They were the things that kind of stood out most for me. Let us know if you are enjoying the podcast. We are getting increased engagement from everybody, and it's great to see. So drop us a like on Facebook. Our Facebook page is just facebook.com/belcastpod. We're on instagram.com/belcastpod. Belcast Pod on Twitter. You can now get our episodes on YouTube if you're interested in that. Also available on SoundCloud. So we're basically just looking to increase the different modes of listening to the podcast. So yeah, let us know what you think of this week's podcast. Just drop us a message on Facebook or just drop us a tweet. It'd be great to speak to you and see what your opinions are on the topics that we've talked about this week. So if you are enjoying the podcast, leave us a review on iTunes if that's what you listen on, or on any of the applications that you use. It does help us, and we appreciate all feedback, positive or any criticism that you may have, or any suggestions. Just send them across. Okay, so until next week, thanks a lot and have a good week.